Well, over the last couple of days, there have been repeated sightings of pipe bombs, and the mainstream media has just glommed onto it. But the FBI doesn't call them bombs. They call them, I think, destructive devices or something like that, because they weren't really bombs. And some of them didn't have any bomb material in them, apparently. Some of them had other destructive things in them. They were not fully charged. They were not properly put together, even though it was obvious that there was some technical expertise. They were not attached to or linked to opening. That is, they wouldn't be triggered by having been opened. So I think maybe they probably should have put in an instruction sheet saying, you know, we have a timing device on this, and we're going to put the timing device in it, but it won't be charged until you open it up. So if you'd like to have it blow up in your face and have some excuse for complaining, just attach the timer and then set it, and then you can accidentally be out of the room or something like that. There are obvious misspellings to make it look like it's some kind of deplorable, redneck, Trumpite. There you go. There are obvious recipients. All of the main suspects, all of the Democrat suspects are going to be there. But wait, I have an addition to this. And it was jumped on by the mainstream media, obviously. It's suddenly the biggest thing. It's even bigger than the caravan, the mob heading north through Mexico. What I would say to you is, it is, as you all know, it's a big distraction. It's supposed to be a distraction. It's supposed to take us away from the fact that there are lots of things going on that nobody is supposed to notice. It's supposed to engender sympathy for these poor people that got these dangerous devices. We're all supposed to worry about them, pray for them, feel sorry for them. No, you can't pray because they're atheists, right? No, don't do that. Don't bother because they don't believe in it. So, and then, of course, we have to blame Trump for the violence because obviously it was Trump's fault. And CNN even went so far as to say Trump targets are the subject matter of it. So I guess maybe Trump made a list, put it in a tweet, and said, these are the people that I want you to pipe bomb. Please pipe bomb these people, somebody out there. And then there is, of course, and this is maybe the biggest part about it, at least for now, and that is to serve as some kind of deflection or reduction of the obvious red wave that is happening, and I'll talk about that in a separate video. But it's clear that the blue wave ain't happening, right? The blue wave disappeared, and now we've got a red wave, and it is clear and obvious that in some areas of the country, and maybe in large portions, if not all of it, there's a huge red wave. So now let me describe to you one other problem with this. And I'm worried about it because, you see, there were people that were obviously sent these things and people that were obviously not sent these things. And there's some really important people that were not sent these things, these destructive devices. And there were people that got the destructive devices that didn't get the one they were supposed to get. So I'm thinking about setting up a false destructive device company, and I want to facilitate these people because they're all left out. So I mean, the obvious one is, yes, the Clintons got something, but what they should have gotten was a pamphlet with instructions for real pipe bombs so that when they Arkansided people, they could come up with another way, and they could even maybe have some misspellings and everything set up in it. You know, if you're going to do this, misspell it from here and then send it from someplace other than Arkansas, right, or New York. That would be the first one. The second one is, you know, all the poor rhinos got left out. That is Republicans in name only. You've got guys like Paul Ryan, that should have gotten one because he's a subject of sympathy. But, you know, he's leaving, so we didn't want to waste any on him. Isn't that the deal? And then you've got all the George W. Bush guys because they have moved to the center, and they're obviously the conciliatory ones. So since Trump is the targeting redneck, then all of the George W. Bush ones should be getting it. And that includes all of the Project for a New American Century that's set up in 1998, how to attack Afghanistan and Iraq, and then Libya, and then Syria, and then to Iran. Of course, you have to get Iran, maybe North Korea. And that includes lovely guys like William Kristol and Dick Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld and Paul Wolfowitz, Richard Pearl. I think those guys all should get one. And not only that, they maybe should get one with anthrax or ricin or something else like that in it, because the New American Century guys were probably the ones who sent envelopes out right after 9/11 in 2001 to guys like Tom Daschle, who was then one of the leaders in the Senate from, I think, South Dakota. And so we should send them out a false bomb. False, of course. I wouldn't recommend sending a real one. We should send them out a false bomb to all of these Project for a New American Century so that they can get people to feel sorry for them too, because they've only killed several 100,000 people as a process of what they've been doing. And then we've got Nancy Pelosi. She got something, but what she should have gotten was a fake bomb, and I will attach some of these things, a fake bomb and a gavel, because obviously she shouldn't be deterred from becoming the Speaker of the House. She should be allowed to do that. And then we've got Mazie Hirono. No, we've got Richard Blumenthal. You know, poor Richard Blumenthal got left out. He's the senator from Connecticut, right? He's the former Marine that had stolen valor. So I was thinking maybe he'd get a box that had a whole bunch of war medals on it, and he could pin those all on his chest, and then there would be some kind of a false non-explosion that may take out what little tiny, he's got a heart about this big, right? Just take that out. But I'm not talking about a real one now. I'm talking about a fake one. And then you've got Mazie Hirono. You know, she got left out, and she shouldn't get left out because she knows how to tell us all to shut up and then stand up, stand forward, right? So I was thinking maybe the best thing for Mazie Hirono would be a Blumenthal bobble doll, because Blumenthal stood up and all but shut up, and he would be perfect. So Mazie could get a fake, not real, destructive device that she could put on her dash. It would be a Blumenthal bobble doll. So he'd be quiet, but he'd be standing. He'd be there all the time. And then you got George Soros. You know, he got something, but he didn't get the right thing, because Soros started his career as what, a 14-year-old, gathering up items left from Jewish families that had been rounded up and sent into the concentration camps. And I'm thinking that the false bomb that Soros ought to get ought to be a first edition of the Diary of Anne Frank with a fake, some kind of explosive, destructive device inside of it. I think just reading about Anne Frank might be destructive a device enough for Soros if he had any kind of conscience at all, but he of course doesn't. And then we've got Obama. Poor Obama, you know, what he should have gotten was a hot dog, and it could be all wired up and look like it might explode, but in fact it would just be a warming device that would heat it up for him. And then, because I suspect this, that he might have some kind of genital envy, that we could get him a large hot dog instead, the giant hot dog like they sell at Kirkland in Costco, and give him a big one, right? But again, it would just be a warming device. And then we've got Podesta. The two Podesta brothers missed out on this round of stuff. And of course, you could pick up the guy from Comet Pizza as well. And what they should get is a cheese pizza all boxed up and ready to go with a fake destructive device, which would happen to work well. Cory Booker, you know, he's an important guy. And Cory Booker's from New Jersey. He's gone to all the right colleges. He's got his head shaved. He's even confessed to having molested some women in his younger days. And the latest thing is that he allegedly followed somebody, a male, into the bathroom, I think it was, and requested some kind of oral presence by the other guy. Some kind of lewd and lascivious oral presence by this other person for the benefit of Cory. Whether that's true or not, I have no idea. But what I was thinking that Spartacus Cory ought to get would be a Trojan horse, maybe a little wooden Trojan horse. He wouldn't know the difference, and it would have some kind of a destructive device in it, like maybe a book that he could read, or no, the Constitution. He could read the Constitution, and then he would actually know that people should have rights. That would be something else. Include all the Bill of Rights in it. You've got Kamala Harris, who we are a welcoming people, and I was thinking maybe she'd get a burrito, because I'm sure these folks in that caravan would like to bring her one. You got Elizabeth Warren. She didn't get one. And she's running for president, maybe, or jogging, or riding her pinto pony out in the prairie for president. And I was thinking maybe what would be best for her would be a Cherokee peace pipe that when she sucked on it, it would fill her with images of the fullness of her native history, and let her know that she would be the right person to be the next person of color to be the president, right? Because she is, after all, of native heritage, native whatever, I don't know, but we'll see. And then the CNN, CNN got one, but they didn't get what they really should have gotten. What they really should get is a sign that says, well, the last person who leaves here, turn off the light. That's what I think they ought to get. And then we've got a couple others, one of which is Michael Avenatti. The poor guy, the creepy porn lawyer, CPL. CPL is going to be permanently, CPL stands for creepy porn lawyer, and it couldn't go to anybody better than Michael Avenatti, who recently his client has been ordered to pay President Trump, for attorney's fees and costs for the false trial the false charges that Avenatti brought in a civil suit. Avenatti also apparently just lost a $5 million lawsuit, has been tossed out of his office, and has almost single-handedly, with Stormy Daniels and then with this woman, what the hell her name, Stinkweed or something like that supposedly stood around while she was in college watching high school kids drug women, line up in the halls, and on 10 different or 12 different occasions gang rape them. But she kept coming back until somebody got her, I guess. That makes a lot of sense. He almost so creepy porn lawyer almost single-handedly destroyed the Me Too movement by making it all into a travesty that it should not be listened to because it's so crazy and creepy. And finally, the one that I really think got left out, and even in his old age could run for president, and that would be Joe Biden, who's been the vice president. So I want to share with you what I think that Joe Biden ought to get with a destructive device in it. And this might be destructive enough by itself, because you see, Joe has a fondness for young girls. And I was thinking that maybe if Joe brought with him a doll that kind of looked like him and kind of sounded like him, maybe he could get closer to them and be creepier yet. So here it is.
Don't you wish your grandpa was hot like me? Don't you wish your grandpa was a freak like me? Don't you? Well, don't you? Don't you wish your grandpa was raw like me? Don't you wish wish your grandpa was fun like me? Well, don't you? Oh, come on now. Think about it, don't you? Don't you wish your grandpa was hot like me? Don't you wish your grandpa was a freak like me? Don't you? Well, speak up. Now, don't you? I haven't got all night here. And don't you wish your grandpa was raw like me? And don't you wish your grandpa was fun like me? Well, don't you? Well, come on now, don't you?
Don't you think that'd be perfect for Joe? And it could have a destructive device in it, as if he isn't self-destructive enough all by himself, right? So anyway, any of you that would like to sign on for my fake destructive device corporation, I'll be issuing shares. They'll each be worth a penny. And no, I'm not going to do it. But it seems only fitting that we should do so, given that we've got these pipe bombs out here, and that CNN and the rest of them are chasing around like chickens with their heads cut off, trying to prove to us that there's some reality to it. I don't believe it.